I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while sizzling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one Chief Rock Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. Welcome. Salute to everybody watching us on X and on Twitter. Well, I guess X and Twitter are the same thing, right? Salute to everybody watching us on X. Salute to everybody watching us on YouTube. Salute to y'all. Big up yourself, like my man Staffadan say. Big up yourself. Good mornings. Wherever you watching, good afternoons. Salute. Your main man struggling this morning, man. Throat hurting. Bodega Wi-Fi's in the building. Salute, brother. Salute. Andios is in the building. That was probably from way early this morning. Ralph Lewis is in the building. Salute. Lou, salute. Salute. Lou, salute. So I'm going to attempt to talk about a thing that I'm unfamiliar with. I'm going to attempt to start the conversation about something I'm unfamiliar with. But I think I have to talk about it because I think I have to speak about it because I think it's important. And maybe you guys and maybe you guys can help me in this conversation. I want to talk about agency, players, agency, and how that impacts constructing a team. Right? And how that impacts constructing a team. And should it impact constructing a team? Should it? Miguel P in the building. Salute. Man, running a little bit behind on everything today, man, because the vocal cords are sore. Sore throat in the summertime, you know that feel great. Sore throat in the summertime, everybody. You know that feels fantastic. Let me move this thing around here. Yeah. There we go. Luke Skywalker Vision says, can number one Chief Rocker play some J Boogie today. Let me see. Do we have any J Boogie? Do we even have any J Boogie? I mean, hey, Chief in the building. Chief, what's good, bro? Hey, Chief, what's good for a sore throat, bro? What's good for overused vocal cords? I got some tea with lemon in it right here, man. I have some tea with lemon in it and lemon and honey. Tastes horrible, by the way. Drip more is in the building. Salute. Ginger tea. Okay. Ginger tea. That's something new. Tarzan in the building. I may try that ginger tea. I'm not a big ginger fan. Chief says lemon and ginger. You're already ahead of the game. Add some honey. I already added some honey, man. I added some honey. I have it right here. So Bodega says, oh, something running rampant down here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Thank y'all, man, for y'all can. Oh, you said hay fever running rampant in the South. Yeah, hay fever. That's right. That's right. Hey, bro, reading is fundamental. Reading is fundamental. Maybe if I did more of it, then I'd be straight. So on a programming note, everybody, so I got to say this thing just real quick. I felt like I was getting into it yesterday, and I cut it a little bit short. But I want to say this, and I know it's going to sound corny. Right, when you hear it, because it's going to sound like I'm trying to sell y'all Swampland, right? But for real though, I get super excited when I see y'all in the chat, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Now, if you take that as being corny, so what? Legit, I get excited when I see y'all in the chat. And for some of y'all, you know, that sound corny. For some of y'all that sound corny or whatever. And if it sound corny to y'all, maybe I'm just corny. Right? But like, no lie, when I see Andios in the chat, I be like, that's my man. When I see Chief, when I get a random like message from Chief, I'd be excited about that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, oh, okay, my man. Right? But if that sound corny, y'all, listen, maybe I'm just corny. Maybe I'm a cartoon character or something, comic book character or something. You know what I mean? So, but I just wanted to let y'all know that before we start arguing. I just want to let y'all know, like when I see Bodega Wi-Fi in the chat, I'll be like, okay, Bodega here. All right. You know, so I want to say that before I make y'all mad with the commentary. Yo, no lie, that's real life. That's real life. So, but I want to point out two sports agencies that have an impact in the NBA, and they may impact where certain players go. right? I want to point out two agencies that have a direct impact on where players are directed to. Hey, Miss Mocha, this tea with lemon and honey ain't bad. No, it's actually pretty tasty. You know the two culprits too, by the way. You know the culprits. You know I'm going to mention CAA, and you know I'm going to mention Clutch. Right? And here's the thing. In general, I think players should remember the sport, but in real life, a lot of teams and organizations are built on relationships and how good a relationship can be for a certain amount of time. Right? Organizations are built on relationships. Teams are built on relationships. How they can get along, how many things they have in common. Does these entities fit a need that the other entity currently has? And how sometimes a agency will hold its client away from a certain situation because of how one of their prior clients was treated in that space. DSJ is in the building. For or as an example, could the Knicks sign or trade for LeBron James? No. LeBron James is a Clutch loyalist for obvious reasons. LeBron James has a vested interest in Clutch management. So there's the Clutch factor. I mean, there's the vested interest factor. And then there is the how we treated Cam Reddish factor. But should it be a factor? I'm going to ask the R&B sensation DSJ if agency should be a factor in where players look to sign or look to sign a certain player. Should it? Should it matter? Um I think I'm gonna say that it should matter. I'm gonna say I think it should matter. Yes, absolutely, it should matter. IKBM Dre fresh off vacation in the Hamptons. IKBM Dre says it was a grudge before the Cam Reddish thing. That just made it worse. LeBron got his hands on Cam Reddish and realized he was trash. Now clutching Leon having a peace treaty meeting. LOL. Yeah. I could see Cam Reddish back in Atlanta, everybody. Cam Reddish is probably what they need in Atlanta. Should it matter? I'm going to say yes. I compare it mentally. Mentally, I compare it to when you get a new job, right? When you get, say, you get a contract or whatever at a place, say you get a contract at a place in Manhattan, and you go through the process, it's a long process or whatever. And then you get, when you walk in the door, like when they're showing you around on some of the people that you'll be working with, they're like, hey, I'll use Dre as an example. They'll say, hey, Mr. IKBM, this is your office over here. This is your corner office over here, right? But let me show you around to the restrooms in the break area and some of the people that'll be working for and with you, right? And when they do the introductions or whatever, like you see some dudes, some men, and you walk over, and two men out of that group are maybe people you went to the gym with and you were cordial with them, but they're familiar. Like you saw their face. You're like, yeah, man, I know Bobby. I know Bobby. Bobby always be hogging up the bench press. Over there with a gallon of water in his ear pods, and he don't, you know. And then you walk down further, and it's like somebody that played on the high school basketball team with you, like 40 years ago. 40 years ago when you made varsity, or 30, 35 years ago when you made varsity, it's a dude over there that was on the team. Maybe it's Jason. You're like, okay, Jay, what's good, man? You're like, yo, look who it is. It's Dre. Dre, I'm still mad that you wouldn't pass the ball. Dre would never pass the ball. Man, back in 1983, we was in the such and such championship, and Dre had two dudes on him and another one coming, and he put up that 25-footer like it was nothing. And we didn't even have a three-point line back then. Coach is in the building. Salute. The familiarity, I guess, is the word. I'm trying to pronounce it. The Nigerian tongue won't work today, everybody. I know the word familiar. I probably used it already 3 or 4 times. But familiarity. is the tongue twister of the day. Yeah, so does sports agency allegiance impact when NBA players go? Absolutely. Should it? Absolutely. Should it? Absolutely. Absolutely. For instance, if there's a CAA client out there right now that's interested in the Knicks, I say, come on. Come on. Makes it easier for us. Maybe that player will take a slightly less than market value to come into a place that he feels comfortable. Slightly less. Slightly less. Coach B says, "Can the Mavs hurry up and win the chip, so we can get started with the Knicks offseason?" I'm going to talk about that in a second. I just wanted to ask y'all that question. It's one of the things that we don't talk about in the offseason. I know on a lot of Knicks shows, there people are talking about Hartenstein's money and Tibbs extension and all of that. And what I want to do is I want to talk about Tibbs extension after the fact. I don't want to talk about Tibbs extension before the fact. Right? Because to me it just makes more sense to talk about the details of it instead of speculating. Because once you find out what the Tibbs extension is, then you'll know what the direction is of this team. So let's talk about that for a minute. Let's move away from the agency talk just for a moment and talk about what to expect from the Cavs. I mean, the Mavs and the Celtics. Let me ask y'all just straight up, man. Um, who are y'all rooting for in this series? Who do you want to win the NBA Finals? Miguel P, who do you want to win? Who are you rooting for in this NBA in this series? So we got one person pulling for Dallas. Andios pulling for Dallas. Miguel P says Dallas. Okay. KP got to get a ring. Oh boy. Aladdin says KP got to get a ring. I just Hotline Bling says KP got to get a ring. I'm interested in what and what Chief thinks on this one. Mets is in the building. Salute. Can I have a bigger cup of tea? Here. Yeah. Y'all want to see me smoke? Oh. That's how she treat me in real life. You want to get bullied around, marry a woman from the Bahamas. Yo. She says not rooting, but the Celtics got this. Remember when I did your before the playoffs, I said this would be the finals matchup, Celtics in 5 or 6. I don't remember that, but if you said that, bro, you on the money. I don't remember it, and it's not because I don't think you said it. It's just because for some reason I just don't remember. But if that's what you said, bro, you were spot on. And that's why we respect your basketball knowledge, bro. Coach B says Boston is the enemy. And is that a fedora, bro? Is that a fedora? Coach B got a fedora on in that picture. Is he a pretty boy? You learn something new every day. When I see your name, I always think about coaching. I don't ever think about pretty boy. I don't think about, but whatever. It ain't one thing or the other. I ain't judging, just learning. I ain't judging, just learning new stuff. I have hats too, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not a pretty boy, but I do have a lot of dress hats. Right? Yeah. And that's wild, bro. That's wild. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna make it's gonna be like sizzling across my tongue when I say it. Right? It's gonna be like sizzling. Y'all remember sizzling from back in the day? It's gonna be like pop rocks across my tongue when I say it. But I want the Celtics to win in 4. And it's not because I dislike my guy at We Talk Mavs, right? It's solely a Knicks thing. It's a Knicks thing. It has nothing to do with, listen, if there's any other team out there that I associate with, that I have an association with, is the Mavs. It's We Talk Mavs, Rel and King Kai. Right? And I would definitely stand up and clap for them and show my appreciation for them if the Mavs won a championship. But from a Knicks fan's perspective, I desperately need the Celtics to win. I desperately need for them to win, and I need for them to win in 4. I need for them to win in 3.5. And the reason for that is I think organizations make offseason moves if based on where they are. If the Knicks front office feels like they have time, if they feel like the Celtics are right there for us to dominate, or to get, if the Knicks front office feel like the Celtics are right there, we're one player away. If the Mavs sweep the Celtics, they'll take the approach of bring back Burks and Bogey, and we'll take a run at the Celtics if we can stay healthy. Right? If the Mavs sweep the Celtics, it'll be one of those things where I feel like the Knicks front office, the Sixers front office, and the Brooklyn front office can all be like, well, you know what? They're not as really as good as what people think. All we need to do is we're one player away. And if you and as a fan, whenever you hear the term one player away, that generally means you're one player away from being one player away from being one player away. If you're in that mindset where you're like, man, all we got to do is get Hartenstein to average 20 and 12, and we might be able to beat Boston. Well, for one, Hartenstein is never going to average 20 and 12 for 82 games or in the playoffs. Never. Right? We have too many years of proof. And I know some people say never. I'm saying say never when it's appropriate. Right? If we're thinking all we have to do is run it back and keep OG Anunoby healthy, bro, all we got to do is keep Randall and OG healthy and to keep Mitch healthy, and we could beat anybody. When's the last time you saw Julius Randle stay healthy, OG Anunoby stay healthy, or Mitchell Robinson stay healthy? And then to expect all three to stay healthy and for 100 or so games. For 100 or so games, you expect all three to stay healthy. That's the trap. If the Dallas Mavericks win, is that for me? Did you dip your finger in it? Come here. They want to see you on camera. You want to see Mo? Come here, Mo. No. Get your ass. Hey, how you doing? Hey, everybody. Don't get hit with a frying pan, Uncle Freezer. Don't get hit with a frying pan, Uncle Freezer. Dre says, forces the Knicks brass to know what they're going up against. Yeah. And Coach B said Celtics, and I was like, this is a big one, Elizabeth. Hey, man. It hurt, bro. It hurt me too. It hurt me by saying that. But I'm applying that logic not based on a like of the Boston Celtics. I'm applying that logic. I would have applied that logic for any team in the Atlantic Division. Any team, regardless of who it was. If it was Toronto, if it was I was just about to say Brooklyn. But yeah, if it was Toronto or Brooklyn or Philly, in this case it's Boston. So it gets your organization in more of a hurried state. It gets your organization more in a urgent mode. So it's not like I'm rooting for the Celtics. I'm actually rooting for the Knicks in this scenario so that our front office can be in a more of an urgent mindset. Allah Wise is in the building. and everybody, me and Alawaz and myself are gonna work on an episode, work on a podcast on vibes and stuff where we talk about um health, belief systems, growing up, and awareness. So we're gonna talk about health and some belief system and some growing up and some awareness. So if you get into like lifestyle stuff, otherwise and myself are probably gonna have at some point, maybe today or tomorrow. I just talked to him a few minutes ago. So I think we're gonna have a sit down, just do a podcast, maybe like 30 to 40 minutes about health, how to eat healthy, how to stay healthy, right? Mental health, emotional health, the thing that people sleep on. Your emotional health is just as important as your mental health and your physical health, right? Your emotional health. I want to talk to him about that and some other things. He's a very experienced man, been through a lot of stuff just like myself. And we're probably gonna chop it up for like 30 or 45 minutes. What I'll do is at some point when I find out what his schedule is like, I'll put the link to that conversation out there for those that enjoy those types of conversations. Y'all just keep an eye out for that. And salute to Alawaz. He says, I expect Randall to stay healthy because that's what he does. Now those other two might just run and break. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. So 5 Adam says, do you think the Knicks front office are good at trades but not drafting? I don't know. I don't know. I won't speak to that specifically. I don't know about that. I'll just let y'all have your own view on that. But the reason why I say that the Celtics winning a championship benefits us is because it puts heat directly, puts pressure directly on our front office. Does our front office need heat or pressure on them? No. Would it be a good thing? In my opinion, absolutely. 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 See, because the patient approach only works when you've been in place for 4 years, 4 or 5 years, right? After you've been in place for 4 or 5 years, you can't talk to me about being patient. You've been collecting checks for 4 or 5 years. Where's our chip? Don't talk to me about making progress. I don't care. I don't care about making progress. I don't care about the start point, right? I don't care about the start point. I don't care about stuff like that. What I care about is championships. That's what I got. Don't talk to me about being patient, right? I don't care. Yo, presidents have been in office shorter than this. This regime has been in place 4 years. You cannot talk to me about patience. Period. The hunt is on, and you are the prey. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember what movie that is? MIG is in the building. Salute. If you've been in office for 4 complete years, preaching to us about patient is not the move. What do you want? 4 more years? You want 4 more years? In my fan mind, this regime has 2 years, and we got to start looking for somebody else. You got 2 years, the 25 season and the 26 season. And if the Knicks aren't in the finals in one of those 2 years, we got to start looking for somebody else. We as the fans, I know we're excited about where we are, right? But after 4 years, I think we have to be excited about where we should be. And I know it sounds like a rant or a tirade or maybe an angry summertime conversation, but it's not. The Knicks may have to make the move that gets them into that championship conversation. Because the question remains, is this core of Brunson, OG, Randall, Hart, DiVincenzo, Mitch, Hartenstein good enough to win a championship? Yes. MIG says, I've been waiting since 89 for just one championship. Yeah, man. I've been waiting since. It's sad. It's sad. I don't even want. It's sad. So I'm not gonna go on the tirade. I felt like the tirade was coming. I felt the wave coming. But the Celtics winning, sweeping the Mavericks would motivate our front office and put pressure on them to do something. If the Dallas Mavericks win, it buys this front office time. If a team from our division wins an NBA championship with that young core of Tatum and Brown, it will make it look like we're in the Jordan years of being the backseat passenger for a young core that's ready to win a championship, ready to go on a dynasty run. I told AD, Anthony D, And I don't think AD listens to me, but neither should he, you know. But I feel like I'm adding something to the discussion when I say this team is on that 90s Knicks road, right? Where if we're not careful, we can be the backseat driver for a decade. Just good enough to be in a conversation, but not good enough to get over the hump. And do you want to be that? Sure, it'll be nice to be in the conference finals 3 or 4 times in a 12-year stretch. It'll be nice to be that, but what about your trophy room? What about your trophy room? Does your trophy room need new additions? Certainly. Chop Low is in the building. My guy Rel is in the building. Salute to Rel. I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound hypocritical, right? But good luck to Rel's Mavericks tonight against the Celtics. It's gonna sound hypocritical based on what I said, right? Like, I'm legit not rooting against the Mavericks. But if the Celtics win, it puts pressure on the Knicks front office to do something. My rooting interest is always Knicks based. Would it be nice for Luka to win a championship? I absolutely think so. I think Luka Doncic is probably going to have a better career than – I think Luka is going to be a top 5 NBA player of all time, period. If there are no injuries and the Mavericks don't do anything stupid, I think Luka Doncic is going to be a top 5 NBA player of all time. And I'm not even going to lie to you. If Rel got his fingers crossed. if Dallas were playing Indiana, if Dallas was playing Cleveland, if Dallas were playing Orlando, if Dallas were playing Milwaukee, I would absolutely have on, well, not a Dallas jersey, but I'd be rooting for Dallas. But since Dallas is playing a team in our division, I have to take a stance that if a team in our division wins a championship, that puts pressure on our front office to be more active. And if they're not, then we have to consider who it is that we have in our front office. If you're a Knicks fan and you see the Boston Celtics having champagne showers, if you're a Knicks fan and you see the Boston Celtics having champagne showers and that doesn't put a rock in your shoe, then you're in the wrong position. If you're a Knicks fan and you watch all summer as the Celtics have on ski goggles and championship t-shirts and that don't bother you, you're in the wrong business. And if I had one question for Leon Rose, that would be it. How do you feel watching a young Boston Celtics team win the first of what may be a handful of NBA titles? And I know the answer is we're confident in what we're building here. We have to trust this process of building a culture and getting the right types of play. I don't want to hear that, bro. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear I'm mad as hell and we're going to do something about it. That's what I want to hear as a fan. If the Dallas Mavericks beat the Celtics, I'm not going to be mad at the Mavericks. I will absolutely stand up and clap for them. I will absolutely call Rel and talk to him man to man on the phone and be like, "Hey, congratulations, bro. How that feels? So you got to let me know how being a champion feels. I don't know what that feeling is like. Can you share it? Got to get, if they win the championship, got to have Rel on the show. Like, Rel, how does it feel, bro, to be the NBA champs?" So again, I'm not hating on Dallas at all, but we have to find a way to put a rock in this front office's shoe. And the irony is that the Dallas Mavericks and the New York Knicks finished with the same record. Miguel P says if Brunson would have signed with the Mavs instead of the Knicks, do the Mavs still go after Kyrie? Would they still be going to the finals with Brunson? Probably. They probably go to the finals with Brunson. The team probably would look different. The one thing about teams that go to the finals, it's their fate, right? They get just enough health and luck and great play and sometimes clutch moments from dudes off the radar. That is fate. I think Luka Doncic is so good that you could put any great guard next to him and get similar results because Luka is that great. I would trade 3 of our starters, any of them, right now for Luka Doncic. Name them, point them out. I'd trade all 3 of them right now for Luka. Any of them. Anybody in the start, any 3 in the starting 5, I'm sending them to Dallas right now for Luka Doncic. Any of them. Point them out. I don't care which 3. I don't care which 3 Dallas takes. I don't care which 3 Dallas. If Dallas could take 3 of our projected starters right now for Luka, I would be like, done. I'd drive their ass to the airport. Nah, you know what? I'd drive their ass to Dallas. I'd apologize the whole way there. Like, hey, dog, it's It's strictly business, bruh. It ain't. It's strictly business. Yep. Well, I'm with you. Yeah, they probably don't go after. See, here's the thing. If you have Brunson on 4 years, 55 mil, say whatever number that is. What number is that? 14 mil? 13 and a half? That's like if they had Brunson on 13 point something mil, that money that they gave Kyrie and Tim Hardaway, they could have went out and got them a dynamo at small forward. A dynamo, bro. With that 18 plus 25, with that 43 million that they saved on that move, man, get out of here, y'all. With that $43 million that they would have had from minus the Kyrie contract and Tim Hardaway Jr., bro, they could have, man, it ain't even a question. It ain't even a question what they could have added with that 43 million. So the Brunson versus Kyrie thing, I think is nice barbershop talk. But nah, you probably talk about Dallas right now. Dallas may have won the championship last year. Whenever Kyrie Irving's first year in Dallas was, they probably would have won the championship that year. Rel said we said that on our. Oh, I didn't. Hey, I missed that show, Rel. I'm usually I check in, but I didn't see y'all say that, bro. My bad. I ain't trying to steal y'all point. I just did the numbers in my head real quick. I didn't know y'all talked about that, bro. Maybe we could talk about that on the show that we all get together. When it's your time, it's your time. And Alawan says, real talk, if we stay healthy, we be in Dallas right now. Maybe we had to beat Boston first to get there. Sherwin is in the building. He says Kyrie is an all-time great. Nobody's disputing that. Nobody's disputing that, but we're talking about roster management. We're talking about roster management. In terms of roster management, if you could have all NBA Jalen Brunson, all NBA Luka, and $43 million to fill out the small forward or power forward spot, nah, bro. Sometimes, can we just give credit where credit is due? If they had Jalen Brunson, this is just speculation, right, on my part. If they had Jalen Brunson, I can almost bet they would also have Josh Hart. If they have Jalen Brunson, you can damn sure bet they have Josh Hart and some other player. You can damn sure bet on that. If they have Jalen Brunson, they probably have Josh Hart and some other stud on the roster, and probably are walking around with the best starting five in the NBA. And the reason why they would be able to do it is because they'd be paying an All-NBA, they'd be paying an All-NBA All-Star and Jalen Brunson $13.5 million, where usually you pay that guy $40+ million. So they'd have $27 million off the rip, right? Plus Tim Hardaway's, they would never have considered bringing back Tim Hardaway Jr. they would never have considered bringing back Tim Hardaway. If you can get Brunson and Josh Hart, and in that $27 million left over, they could trade for who was the hottest small forward on the market 2 years ago? Was it OG Anunoby? Was OG Anunoby the hottest small forward on the market? Was it Paul George? Whoever, just insert that wing player. Insert that wing player. Whoever was the hotness. Rel, you got my acid reflux acting up, bro. No disrespect. But that man gonna say OG Anunoby was the hottest. Bro, you got my acid reflux turning over, bro. Mo, he got my acid reflux turning up, and I don't even have acid reflux. I just got acid reflux randomly when Rel said OG Anunoby's name. For the sake of this conversation, I don't want to say OG Anunoby. I'm going to say Brandon Ingram, right? I'm going to say Brandon Ingram. I'm going to say Brandon Ingram because I don't want to consider Brunson, Josh Hart, and OG Anunoby in Dallas. Okay, Sherwin. Shout out to the Bronx, bro. Shout out to the Bronx. Bro, I always shout out the Bronx, bro. South Bronx. I know Soundview. Hey, shout out to the Bronx. Shout out to all. If you know any Greens and Jacksons in the Bronx, any Greens, Jacksons, Sims, if you know any Sims in the Bronx, they're my cousins, bro. Just had this conversation the other day with my family about how some of them moving, how some of my cousins in the Bronx moving to Georgia. I don't know what that's about, but a lot of them are moving to Georgia, getting away from the city. Rel, you got my acid reflux acting up, bro, by keep mentioning OG Anunoby's name, bro. OG Anunoby is a Knick, bro. I want to talk. What uniforms are y'all gonna wear? I want to change the conversation, bro. I don't want to talk about Brunson and OG Anunoby possibly playing for the Mavericks, bro. I don't want to talk about that no more, man. I don't want to talk about that no more. But if you're the Knicks, though, if you're the Knicks, it's gonna be a funeral, right? You going to the Celtics funeral? That's what this is about. But if you're the Knicks front office and you need extra motivation, here it is. Here it is. The Boston Celtics legit are in the NBA Finals. And as a Knicks fan, and no disrespect to my friends, I have to root for the Celtics to win, not in the case of I dislike Dallas or any team for the Western Conference, but especially Dallas. I'm not rooting against Dallas. I'm rooting for the Knicks. And how I get the Knicks motivated to go out and do what it takes to get this team to 2 or 3 NBA Finals. And I don't think patience can be the answer. We've been patient. It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years. How much more patient can a New York franchise be? I've seen a team rebuild in 2 years. I've seen the Orlando Magic rebuild in 3 years. They traded Terrence Ross, Evan Fournier, Vucevic. Who else? Orlando at the 2021 trade deadline. Orlando gutted the team, and now they're a championship contender 3 years later. I legit saw the Indiana Pacers in the lottery for like 3 or 4 seasons. And this year, they beat us in the conference semifinals. The Cleveland Cavaliers were in the same R.J. Barrett draft as us. They selected Darius Garland. They were in that same lottery that we were in. And now they're in a conference semifinals. And there are teams right on our heels. Now there are teams right on our heels. You don't know who they are yet. You don't know who these teams are yet. I'm going to tell you who they are because it's a summertime conversation. You don't know who these teams are yet. As a matter of fact, when I say their names, it's going to sound ludicrous for me even saying it, right? But when I say their names, you're like, nah, they're too far away. You know, they have stuff that they have to do in order to get where we are. But those teams understand that they're not one player away from being one player away. The team right now that scares me the most of a team that can catch up to us and maybe even pass us. And when I say their name, y'all are going to laugh, and I don't care. I've been laughed at before. I'm not sensitive like that. I'm not touchy. Y'all can laugh at me all y'all want, but I think the Charlotte Hornets, if Charlotte drafts the right person this year, I think they're a 40-win team. Right? Last year, Charlotte won 21 games. Right? Charlotte won 21 games. They were 43 games back of Boston out of first place. They were 43 games back of first place. Right? But Charlotte has an offseason to turn around their culture, to get rid of things that weighed them down. They brought in an excellent young head coach, and they are going to start playing basketball the right way. It's just what it is. And I know we sleep on teams that are in the lottery because of who we are, right? But if I ask you, what is Charlotte's greatest team need? Does Charlotte need a big man? No, they have 2 good big men. They have Mark Williams and Nick Richards. Does Charlotte need a young 2-way wing? No, they have Brandon Miller. Does Charlotte need a point guard? Absolutely not. Well, what does Charlotte really need? There's your question. What does Charlotte need in order to become a playoff play-in team? What does Charlotte need to become a playoff play-in team? Charlotte is a team in that category of they're one player away, and conversations are different. Charlotte is one solid draft pick away. Charlotte is anybody in the chat like Cody Williams? Anybody like the Cody Williams kid from Colorado? In my mind, Charlotte is one Cody Williams away from being a 40-win team. Charlotte is one Cody Williams away from being a thorn in the Knicks side. Charlotte is one slashing wing player away from being a thorn in the Knicks side. Charlotte maybe one Ron Holland away from being a thorn in it. Well, Ron Holland probably needs a little bit more time, but they're one Cody Williams away from being a pest, pun intended. Y'all see what I did there when I said the word pest about the Hornets? See what I did right there with the word? See the word play? Pun intended. Y'all checked out the pun intended right there. Charlotte is one player away from being in this playoff conversation. And I know that sounds like a stretch. I know Knicks fans are very dismissive of everything. Knicks fans dismiss everything, right? Charlotte trash. Yeah, Knicks fans can be very dismissive of even obvious stuff. So, Rel, I disagree with you on this one, brother. I think the Knicks have a glaring need. The Knicks have glaring needs that are needs but not emergencies, so to speak. The Knicks need a second unit point guard. They need a point guard, a point guard's point guard. They need a floor general, a ball handling assist man. The Knicks also need to bring in a third center. The Knicks need a third 7-footer that can stay healthy. And this is with me assuming that they're going to bring back Hartenstein. If they bring back Hartenstein and they bring back Mitch, the Knicks need a third center, right? Because you can't bank on Mitch staying healthy, right? And you can't bank on Precious Achiuwa playing center. He's not an NBA center. Chop Low, Chop Low, you know what? Chop Low know who I want to bring in. Chop Low, you know who I want us to bring in as our third center, right? Just Knicks is in the building. The Knicks need a second unit point guard, primary ball handler. I think the primary ball handling duties should be in a group. I think that's the reason why you see Dallas thriving now, because Dallas has horses. Dallas has the horses to get there now. The primary ball handling group never goes lacking at all when you have Luka and Kyrie. Y'all see what I did right there? Dallas has horses. Did y'all check that out? Did y'all see what I did right there to play on words? See how slick he is with the words? The Mavericks have horses. Yo, hilarious to me anyway. No thank you on Dwight Powell. We already have a light-skinned dude that just runs around and jumps in the air for nothing. We already have an undersized or a guy at center that is super athletic but doesn't have center instincts. We already have that guy. And I like Jericho Sims, by the way. I just don't think he's an NBA center. I think he's an NBA power forward, a backup four with mobility and agility to guard fours in this league and some upside ball handling, some. I think IKBM Dre will take Dwight Powell 8 days out of the week. Would y'all do Dwight Powell for Jalen Brunson? Chop Low says Othello Harrington should not be assistant coach working with our bigs. He was whack. Yeah, we definitely need some bigs, right? Not to have a heavy big rotation, but to have on call. The Knicks also need to stack the back end of their roster with young players. The one thing I noticed about this Knicks team is that we have one young guy in the rotation, and that young guy is 24 or 23, will be 24 this summer. Building blocks in the building. Salute to all the members of the channel. Hey, Chop Low, who do I want? Tell me if you heard this song before. I did this last night. This should tell you who I want. All the halls calling, blowing up a phone, all in. That's who I want. If you know what song that is, you already know who I want as our third big. Rel says Dre got a signed Powell jersey. Nah, bruh. Dre has the Dwight Powell signature on his heart, bro. Dre legit took his shirt off at the tattoo shop and was like, nah, bro, don't put it on the shirt. Just put it on my heart right here. Dre got the Dwight Powell signature tattooed on his heart, bro. Right above Josh Hart's signature. So he got Josh Hart in one spot and the Dwight Powell right over Josh Hart. Salute to Dre, bro, because I heard tattoos hurt, by the way. I heard tattoos hurt, so I heard tattoos hurt, so you know. And I'm kidding with Dre. I'm kidding and playing around with Dre, right? So I'm just kidding and playing around with Dre because y'all know how I feel about Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. Y'all know how much I love Randle, so sometimes I get drugged through the mud over Randle's. But when you like somebody, you like them. But Chop Low, yeah, that's my guy. That's the guy that I want. If you know the song, you'll know who I'm talking about. All calling, blowing up my phone. Oh, you already know who that is. That's who I want the Knicks' third string or second string center to be. I want it to be a center from New York City that can shoot the three and is has top 10 center talent. And I know y'all know who it is. I'm just playing the game, right? Just to entertain myself. Just to entertain myself, man. I want to state that. That's who I'd like to have. And audio says Hartenstein, but Tibbs won't let him shoot it. I think Hartenstein can make threes, but the dude I'm talking about is a 3-point shooter, is a 7-1 3-point shooter. Like he's a shooter for real. Like the dude can shoot the three. He's known for that. Shooting threes and blocking shots at the rim. I think Tom Thibodeau, if Tom Thibodeau gets his hand on that guy and develops him like he did Nerlens Noel and develops him like he did Isaiah Hartenstein, I think he'll be a steal for us. Sell next day is in the building. What's good with you? I'm not valuing the center position, everybody. Not like that. Building blocks got it. Yeah. That's who I want to get. Oh, calling. Yeah. That's who I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Tom Thibodeau rehabbing Mo Bamba. Jay Calls is in the building. Salute. So, hey, it's lunchtime. Hey, it's lunchtime. Huh? Okay. All right, everybody. I'm gonna get out of here. It's lunchtime here and the Knicks household. I'm gonna get out of here. Be sure to check us out tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we're gonna do we're gonna introduce BG of Eat Sleep Sixers tomorrow, coming through to hang out with us for a little while. I'll be joined by Demand from We Talk Hawks TV. We're gonna chop it up about off-season moves and where franchises stand. Should they be busy or not? Right? We'll probably recap some of the stuff that we saw in the Mavs Celtics NBA Finals. Of course, y'all know that We Talk Mavs has an open invite for any show. So if they're busy, then whatever. If Rel and King Kai can come through, they might, depending on their schedules. I don't know what their schedules are like. I didn't talk to them. I'm assuming that they're just going to enjoy the championship ride. I'm just assuming that they're going to enjoy the championship ride. And then whenever we get back together, you know what I'm saying, we just get back together. You know, championship runs don't come along often. So when they do happen, you have to enjoy the ride. Right? So if they come through, then we'll be excited to see them. But if they don't understand that Rel and King Kai are probably busy. So salute to everybody. I'll probably holler tonight for a very short show since the members only show is in the morning. But for all the members, be prepared to talk about Jalen Brunson tomorrow. For all the members, be prepared to talk about Jalen Brunson, man. We're gonna have a serious conversation about Jalen Brunson. And it won't be about and trust me, we're not gonna bash our point guard, right? We're just gonna talk about stuff like how to build around him and how Brunson can be better, right? Anyway, I'm out of here, y'all. It's lunchtime. Peace, everybody.